Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? If you can, give me thumbs up. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. I'm gonna need y'all to welcome the people to Club Blue. I'm premiering it a little earlier than September 1st. Y'all make sure y'all give whenever y'all see Valencia, the new blue people, give Valencia y'all um date of birth. Not you don't have to give the year, just the month and the day. Um, so we'll officially be back on in September the 1st. So before we get started, let me say hey to the folks that's in here. What's up, Purple Purple? Hey, Indigo. Mom Life Love. Robert Keller. Keller, what it do, boss? What it do? You found the tapes? You found the tapes. Let's see. Hey, Miss Dee Dee. Wifey forever. Let me see who else. Hey, Cool BJ. Yes, thank you for telling them to what? Get to like something. Hey, Love's Fair. Oh, I'm saying that's right. Hey, Adriana Spencer. I left a message for you. I said, where have you been, honey? Don't be playing them games with me. Karen J, one part of the KKK. What it do, 312? Yes, yes, yes. So, okay, we got a few things to talk about today. We got a few things to talk about. But before I'll go ahead and put some stuff on up here. But y'all can't hear me, right? Y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I forgot to check before I went to reading it off. Hollering at y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear me. All right. Thank you. Thank you. One, one more minute. Thank you, Purple Purple. Thank you so much, ma'am. That's much appreciated. And let me make sure I have all my while I'm over here. Make sure everybody that's supposed to be blue is blue. Okay, yeah. Looks like everybody's blue is blue. So we got a few things to talk about. So now they found the tapes, and I'm going to say, and I'm not sure. This is just a thought. I'm not sure because I heard. I don't know. Because I'm looking at some stuff and I'm trying to put it together. Right. I'm going to say that there are some visual depictions. I'm 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 going to start to believe that it will depict. Um, I don't know. I was going to say it may depict Jane Doe number 2, 4, and 5, but then again, it may just depict other other people other than those. It could be all. I don't know. Hell, at this point, I do not know. This is some strange stuff. But those tapes and any type of digital media is supposed to be made available in a little bit, in enough time for the defense to go down there and test um, to make sure that it's authentic, right? Because that's the how if that's one way. I mean, the evidence could supposed to be reliable. Although you can somebody, it can get admitted in, and then the defense can go ahead at some point during the trial and have it tested by an expert. They can do that. So, or it could have been up under seal all that time, and they plan to, permit it. I mean, allow it in court at some point. I mean, so, but what I'm thinking is, she must be going to have to stop and get that evidence admitted in court. Which is, if they had it already, she's already done that process. So what the hell kind of peekaboo ass game they playing with the tapes? I don't know what's going on. I really don't know. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't it a publication that says that the judge says that they will be looking at? Well, no. That was somebody tweeting that, right? I, I don't know. I don't know. That was somebody tweeting that. I don't know, but I haven't read all through the articles I found. I just scanned them because I was looking for a couple things. I don't know what's in all of them. Hopefully, I'll come across um something about the goddamn tapes, but I don't know. So I don't know if Keller done went and got some tapes out of his stash and gave them to Judge Ann, and I don't know who's on there. But or remember we also said that maybe, remember we was looking at that last itemization of discovery, right? That was done back in March of 2020, and remember it had those, like, it was talking about that stretch of all those items. Remember we said with the tapes. Remember I said the tapes are probably hidden in there. That could be somewhere where it's so we got a lot of ideas and suggestions as to, one, are there really tapes, and two, where the tapes have been, right? So we do have that out. So it'll be interesting to know that. So, but hey, I mean, I'll go with it. So now I'm about 99% that there's probably going to be a conviction. And there's some other stuff that goes along with that as well. Also, that motion, that matter of law motion, she did further, and I'm gonna read that publication first before I get to the play the two court TV little brief little reportings they did. I will read the one where she spoke about she ruled on that motion to dismiss. Remember, that was a matter of law. I said she could have done it before the jury or after the verdict, right? If she did 9 out of 10 times, if she did it before, well, I'll say this. I'll put it this way: because she did it before the jury, which is most times when they do it, but they can reserve it. Because she did it before the jury, that really gives me that really puts me over like 102% that there would be a conviction. So I'm over 100%. So she's already, yeah. This is getting bad, and we just going into day two. This is terrible. But I'll go ahead and put that article up that speaks about that motion. So just give me a minute. Yeah, she hit him in the head this morning. I looked in the document. I was looking in this article, and that caught my eye. I was like, whoa, she hit him in the head this morning. Like, okay, which is a fresh way to start the trial, right? Because you the that both sides are not back, peddling and trying to, like, when she get to it, well, decide on, what direction the case is going to go, what to say about the evidence she allowed and whatever. Now they know up front, with regards to that matter of law and the sufficiency of the evidence, what the defense was asking to be dismissed. Now they know what that she's not going to dismiss those items. So this is crazy, right? This is real crazy. I don't know if I was having hot flashes or what. Boy, I be getting hot up in here. Hold on, let's see. Okay, so let me make sure y'all can see this. All right, and we read. Let's see. First witness in R. Kelly's sex trafficking trial alleges he gave her herpes as a teen. All right. R&B star R. Kelly faced a criminal trial jury for the first time in 13 years as federal prosecutors in New York on Wednesday began laying out a sweeping case of multiple sex crime charges, including racketeering and trafficking of women and young girls. The prosecution's first witness, Geronda Johnson Pace, took the stand in the afternoon to testify that she had sex with Kelly when she was 16, although she at first told him she was 19. She described a man who was so controlling he told her what clothes to wear, whether she could eat, use the bathroom, or call someone, and ordered her to call him daddy. Pace testified that Kelly sometimes recorded their frequent sex sessions, shooting with a cell phone on a tripod, and that he would later show the recordings to her to point out where she could use improvement. This case is about a predator. That predator is the defendant, says AUSA Maria Cruz Melendez, one of three-member prosecution team in her opening statement. And I told Larry, I said the prosecution teams for the feds are full of women, right? And the team is much broader than just those three prosecutors. It says, but Kelly's lawyer scoffed at what she said was an effort to paint Kelly as a mafia-like figure and that warned jurors they'll have to sift through lies from accusers with agendas to find the truth. Kelly has pleaded not guilty to all charges. On Wednesday, he sat at the defense table with his lawyers, dressed in a gray suit and wearing glasses. He leaned back in his chair, appearing stoic and sometimes frowning. One of Kelly's four-member defense team, Nicole Blank Becker, said in her opening that the prosecution was trying to set up Kelly as a John Gotti figure, referring to the late New York mob boss. Evidence will show that this is uncharted territory, Becker said. We believe the prosecution's testimony will crumble when it comes to the cross-examination. Becker concluded her opening after lunch, telling the jury, the United States of America against Mr. Robert S. Kelly, that is some big shoes to fill, Becker said. You get to fill those shoes. Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead on, Nikki. The first witness, Geronda Johnson Pace, takes the stand. The first witness, Pace, 28, who was pregnant and said she is due any day, testified that she was a huge fan of Kelly's music and followed his career avidly. She said she had sex with Rob when she was 16, although she initially told him that she was 19, which is over the age of consent. Johnson Pace previously shared her story with BuzzFeed News. She described going to a party at his house in suburban Chicago in May 2009, then returning some time later alone. She said Kelly undressed her, then performed sex acts, then he took her virginity, she testified. I felt uncomfortable, Pace said about the encounter. When she told him her real age, she testified, he said something along the lines of, what that's supposed to mean. She testified that Kelly told her he was going to train her sexually. He asked me to continue to tell everyone I was 19 and acted like I was 21, Pace said. She said he ended up contacting herpes. She said she ended up contacting herpes while she was with Kelly that year. She said a man she was told was a doctor diagnosed her in Kelly's home and instructed her to take some pills, but she refused because she doesn't believe in medication. The last day she spent at Kelly's home, she testified he was infuriated by her texting a friend, slapped and choked her until she passed out, and also spit in her face. After oral sex, she said he used her blue shirt to wipe semen from her face. Judge Donnelly ruled the T-shirt admissible as evidence. Oh, okay. Oh, let me take a drink of this. Ah, Ooh, I ain't read that. Let me get my glasses. Hold on. All right. Pace is scheduled to continue her testimony when court resumes Thursday. Who else will testify at the R. Kelly trial? In her opening, Melendez described the stories of 6 complaining witnesses, including the late singer Aaliyah, and said clinical psychologists and DNA experts will testify. She said the evidence prosecutors will present will include DNA allegedly belonging to Kelly on a T-shirt, birth certificates, texts, phone records, travel records, prescription records, search warrants, and video audio recordings of accusers. Video audio recordings of accusers. Video audio recordings of accusers. Okay. Melendez gave the jury some details about the 6 accusers whose stories underlie the charges against Kelly, point out the wide age differences between the singer and the accusers at the time they met. Some are to be referred to in court only by their first names and ordered by Donnelly. Aaliyah met Kelly at age 12 in 1992 when he was 24, and by the time she was 15, she thought Stephanie, who met him at a McDonald's when she was 16, started having sex with him when she was 17 and he was 32, Melendez said. Sonia was an intern at a radio station in Salt Lake City. Zell met him at 17 and he was 48 when she attended a concert with her parents. Faith met him at a Texas concert in 2017 when she was 19 and he was 50, Melendez said. Okay, so that's all the charge dingos. What to expect? R. Kelly faces his first trial on sex trafficking charges. Prior to the opening statements, U.S. Judge Ann Donnelly denied a last-minute motion to dismiss from the defense. Okay, so that's that matter of law motion, which argued, among other issues, that Kelly should not be held criminally responsible for transmitting herpes to a minor because it is not life-threatening. She also issued a warning to participants in the courtroom, which is closed to the public and the media, about talking about the case during the trial. Don't Twitter about it, Donnelly said. What R. Kelly is accused of. The government accuses Kelly of leading a criminal enterprise of managers, bodyguards, and other employees who allegedly helped Kelly to recruit women and underage girls for sex and pornography and to cross state lines for that purpose. He is also accused in the 2-year-old indictment of bribery, kidnapping, forced labor, producing child pornography, and knowingly infecting some victims with a sexually transmitted disease. Prosecutors will offer testimony that Kelly and his alleged confederates selected women and girls as at concerts and other venues and arranged for them to travel to see Kelly in New York City and elsewhere in violation of the Mann Act the 1910 law that made it illegal to transport any women or girls across state lines for any immoral purpose. Once their loggings, the prosecution contends a member of Kelly's entourage would set down rules about not allowing the girls to speak to each other, how they should dress, and how they needed permission from Kelly before eating or going to the bathroom. Also, they allegedly were required to call him daddy. What was that tip? What this says? Okay. I'm just trying to see what this tweet says. See if there's anything good. I mean, just before 9 evidence was okay. Let's look at this evidence real quick. Let me see. 1, 2. Oh, I told Larry if ever they got 3 or more boxes, it's a wrap. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, let me stop it. All right. Kelly's defense says Starr's personal life is not on trial. Kelly's defense Kelly's defense lawyers have argued that Kelly's accusers were groupies who went to his shows and made it known that they wanted to be with him. Okay. The women only started accusing him of abuse years later when public sentiment shifted against him, they said in court documents. Becker said in her opening that the prosecution's grandiose charges and their use of terms such as enterprise and trafficking is deliberate, aimed at invoking the federal racketeering law known as RICO. She said these are some serious charges, but she rejected the accusation that Kelly is a racketeering leader. She said there is a clear, distinct difference between Kelly's personal life and R. Kelly's business life and called the accusers at trial part of his personal life. His personal life is not on trial, Becker said. How long will the R. Kelly trial last? The trial in the Eastern District of New York, Brooklyn courthouse is expected to last a month and feature multiple witnesses, with as many as a dozen female accusers and 2 male accusers. Most of the accusers will be fully named in court, not the 6 women whose allegations of sexual abuse form the basis of the charges against him, nor the dozen of other accusers of uncharged crimes whose testimony prosecutors will use to establish an alleged pattern of past criminal behavior by Kelly. Right? Because we already went over that's what pretty much the uncharged acts will do. Okay. All right, more. It says R. Kelly jury to hear how he illegally wed underage Aaliyah at his sex trafficking trial. The testimony is expected to include allegations that Kelly, now 54, secretly and illegally married teen singer Aaliyah, referred to as Jane Doe 1 in 1994 when she was 15 because he feared she was pregnant. Prosecutors accused him of paying a bribe. Wait a minute. Prosecutors accused him of paying a bribe, to get a fake ID for Aaliyah, showing her as 18, as he sought to protect himself from possible criminal charges because a wife can't be forced to testify against a husband. Aaliyah was killed in a 2001 plane crash when she was 22. R. Kelly. Okay, we already got that. All right. The jury of 7 men and 5 women will be anonymous. Because of the social distancing rules, they are sitting in a courtroom gallery, not in the jury box. Unusual for a trial of this high profile. The judge have barred the public and press from the courtroom due to the pandemic restrictions. Reporters and other observers are confined to 2 overflow rooms and are watching the proceedings on a video feed. The trial will not be televised and no cameras or electronic devices will be allowed in either the courtroom or the overflow room. Kelly, who has been locked up in a federal jail facility in downtown Chicago since his arrest there in 2019, also is awaiting trials in three other state and federal sex crime cases. For this trial, for this trial, he is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. By coincidence or design, the Brooklyn case is first to come to trial, despite Kelly's last-minute decision to drop his original Chicago-based legal team and take on a new team led by a New York-based lawyer, Deborah Caddick. Kelly last faced a jury in state court in Chicago in 2008, when he was accused of child pornography. He was acquitted after the jury deliberated less than 8 hours in a case that took 6 years to bring to trial. Oh God, what was that? Oh. Okay, y'all, let me come back around there where y'all are. Kella, we got to find out about them. Okay, now, Kella, was the tapes? Was that information about the tapes in an article, or was that just a tweet? I'm just asking. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see what then shit. Why would that defense say that when they ain't judging about from what the defense said in court today? Hell, they might say any damn thing. Shit. But look like, I mean, the goddamn what's the name? I don't know. Don't get me in the line. Maybe they have the tapes and to substantiate the charge acts where they speak of visual depictions, and maybe not the uncharged acts. Maybe that's the distinction. Maybe that is the case. Maybe that. Shit. No, it says video and article. They said the accused video you're gonna hear about, but we don't know if that's what they're. We don't know if it's a video about them saying stuff, and we don't know exactly what they're talking about. It didn't say visual depictions of child pornography. It didn't say that. It does not say that. It just don't. It doesn't say that. It don't say that. But I'm telling you, it's very. I mean, unless somebody's really playing some bullshit. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Unless they are talking about in when the prosecutor said that the defense is confused that testimony about child pornography. Remember that footnote is not evidence. He is wrong. Unless they were just talking at that point, they were talking about the uncharged acts, right? The uncharged acts. So maybe there is video for the charged acts and not the uncharged acts. But yeah, Linda B, I know that's what is that in an article. I don't want to know. I don't want no tweet or nothing like that. Yeah, we pulling stuff out our ass, Ty. Yeah, that's okay. You got a problem with that? So, so they said, yeah, but is that out of an article? I don't know. It's just not written right, you know. Hold on, I could tell. Give me a minute. I could tell. Yeah, that's a fake one. Hmm. Well, yeah. I don't know. I do not know. Unless it's in an article. I don't do all them tweets and all of that. I don't do that. I do news reporting. That's what I do from the news. Right, right. I got her. I got her. I got out of here. Yeah, I got out of here. So I'm gonna look at it real. Let me go back and look real quick what it said. Hold on. Where's the word? Okay. It says, see, if it was pornography, it would say pornography. It says, she said the evidence prosecutors will present will include DNA allegedly belonging to Kelly on a t shirt, birth certificate, text, phone records, travel records, prescription records, search warrants, and video and audio recording of accusers. Now I'm not saying there's not no whatever. You know what I'm saying? No pornography or whatever. But I told you when you write stuff, that stuff is all. And when they record stuff and when I say record, that means put it on record in the courtroom or what have you. They are very detailed. And where's the okay? Let me. Did I read that in that article? I didn't read that in that article, but that's just one article. I'll keep going. Let me see. But I don't want to deal with no text messages. I mean no Twitters or none of that. Mm-mm. I want to see a news outlet. Hold on, I'm getting the circle, the circle, honey. Let me look at this next article and see. Shit, is it goddamn? Hold on. Okay, hold on. All right, let me see what this article says. I think they already read this one, but I'll put this one up here. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, I see. I'm trying to catch a message. Hey, Miss April, what's that? The tweets are from reporters. Okay. If y'all tell me where to, if y'all tell me where to go, I'll pick it up and look at it. I'll definitely do that. So here is a. Hold on, let me play this. All right, let me see if y'all can hear this.
The R&B star R. Kelly is in court today in Brooklyn, New York. Lawyers will give opening arguments in the first of his two scheduled federal trials. We should warn you this story includes allegations that some people will find disturbing, and it lasts about 4 minutes. If you need to go, don't worry, we'll still be here when you get back. R. Kelly is facing charges of racketeering for the purpose of luring girls and young women, as well as sexually trafficking them across state lines. NPR's Anastasia Silkis is covering the trial. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
I guess we should begin by noting this is one of his trials.
That's right. He's actually facing accusations from two separate sets of federal prosecutors, one in New York and one in Illinois. He was arrested back in July 2019, and he's been in custody ever since. And there was a lot of back and forthing, who should go first. Finally, it was decided New York would go first, but even after this trial ends, he'll face another set of federal charges, and he's pleaded not guilty to all the accusations.
Okay, noting the not guilty plea, let's talk about the accusations first in this New York City trial.
Right. The New York prosecutors are alleging that Kelly ran a criminal enterprise along the lines of the mob. In this case, the prosecutors say the mission of this enterprise was to, quote, prey upon young women and teenagers. And that enterprise, they say, allegedly included sexually exploiting children, kidnapping, and forced labor. And I should note there are 6 alleged victims in the New York charges. Prosecutors also say that he bribed a public official to make a fake ID for his former protege, the singer Aaliyah. They were married in 1994, the day after the ID was made. He was 27 and she was just 15 years old.
Okay, and then there's the case in Chicago. How different is that?
In the Illinois case, he's facing allegations of child pornography and obstruction. And some listeners may remember he was acquitted of child pornography charges in Chicago back in 2008. The Illinois prosecutors have accused him of actually obstructing justice in that trial, of intimidating and paying off witnesses, including the 14-year-old alleged victim.
Okay, so we've got these two different trials on somewhat related charges. I want to circle back to that phrase you used earlier. You said criminal enterprise. What would make these various acts a criminal enterprise, according to the prosecutors?
Well, they're saying that he headed a whole circle of people, including an entourage of managers and handlers and publicists and gophers who aided him in this mission in various ways. The New York prosecutors are also trying to have other evidence admitted that they say shows that this was a long-established crime circle and not just an alleged individual predator. And that evidence includes abuse of 20 teenage girls and women over a very long span, 1991 to 2018, as well as alleged sexual abuse of a 17-year-old boy.
Very briefly, how do they keep the jury from being tainted by all the news coverage of this trial?
So the judge has ordered the jurors anonymous and partially sequestered for the duration, and the judge, Ann Donnelly, has told the jurors repeatedly it's because of the intense media interest around this trial.
Anastasia, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
NPR's Anastasia Silkis.
Okay. All right. Okay. And that. So I see some other information in this that I didn't read. So it says R. Kelly's trial has begun. The singer faces decades of sex abuse charges. All right. Testimony has started as day one of R. Kelly's federal trial winds down. Kelly is being accused of a wide array of crimes: sexual exploitation of a child, bribery, kidnapping, forced labor, and sexual trafficking across state lines. Kelly has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Sexual exploitation of a child. Man, hey. Okay, let's keep reading. All right. In her opening statement, AUSA Maria Melendez called Kelly a predator, telling the jury that he was a man who used his fame, popularity, and the individuals at his disposal to target and groom girls, boys, and young women for his sexual gratification. Oh, God. Kelly's defense lawyer, Nicole Blank Becker, is attempting to position the accusers as liars who were in consensual long-term relationships with Kelly. They they are going to tell you, Mr. Kelly, and is the this month what? They're going to tell you, Mr. Kelly, is this monster. Okay. You're also going to hear that some of these relationships were beautiful, said Becker. Among the accusers, Geronda Johnson Pace was the first to testify. In 2017, Pace told BuzzFeed News that she met Kelly as a teenager, skipping school to attend Kelly's 2008 trial in which he was cleared of child pornography charges. She largely repeated the story in court, testifying that she had sexual relationship with Kelly even after she revealed to him that she was underage. Pace was also heavily featured in the 2019 documentary Surviving R. Kelly, where she detailed her life was like living with R. Kelly. She detailed what her life was like while living with R. Kelly. All right, Kelly was once hailed as the king of R&B, a hitmaker for himself and for collaborators who range from Celine Dion to Justin Bieber. He's been held in custody since July 2019, awaiting the start of his New York trial. A second federal trial in Illinois on separate charges of child pornography and obstruction will follow. The lengthy delays in New York were due to the pandemic, superseding charges issued by both sets of prosecutors and rounds of shuffling on his defense team. The jurors, who will remain anonymous and partially sequestered throughout the proceedings, include 7 men and 5 women. The trial is expected to last about a month. Continued coronavirus precautions at the Brooklyn courthouse, where the trial is taking place, mean that the press and the public are being restricted to overflow courtrooms outfitted with video and audio feeds. The federal prosecutors in New York are structuring their case similar to that of an organized crime case. The charges include racketeering, that is, that Kelly allegedly ran a criminal enterprise whose explicit purpose was to prey upon young women and teenagers, and that he was allegedly aided by managers, gophers, and others in his entourage, as well as sexually trafficking the girls and women across the state lines. The New York charges include 6 alleged victims, including the singer Aaliyah, Kelly's former protege, whom he married in 1994 when she was 15 and he was 27. The government is also hoping to have the jurors hear and see what they say is the evidence of other uncharged criminal offenses committed by Kelly between 1991 and 2018. Those other allegations include 20 Jane Does and one teenage John Doe. Well, okay, so we can take that one off. Oh, okay. Y'all know I'm still, huh? So y'all, wow, I don't, I'm still trying to find, you know, I'm just trying to get that express language. I mean, it's about. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just saying I don't know. And I hate not knowing. Uh, okay, let me play this from Court TV. Hold on. So let me play these two things I got from Court TV. Then we'll be reading again. Let me know if y'all good to look at this stuff. Y'all good to look at this? Y'all all right? Let me know if y'all hanging on in there. Sorry about the time frame, y'all. I was waiting till everybody got finished. I thought some other people was going on, so I just went ahead. Okay, good. I just went ahead and snuck one up in here. So let's see. Trying to get it to come up. Man, I tell you, I hate the internet. Say hello.
But we have another major trial just opening up today that we are covering for you. This one is in Brooklyn, New York. Opening statements underway right now in the federal criminal trial for singer R. Kelly. The defendant, whose real name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, is accused of racketeering and sex trafficking. He's facing 9 counts in total on that indictment, allegedly involving 6 women, some of whom were underage at the time of the alleged offenses. Kelly, of course, is denying all of the charges brought against him. Let me bring in now Court TV legal correspondent Julia Janae, who is on the ground for us in New York and has more on what is happening so far in day one. Julia. Julie, court just let out a few moments ago for a break after a powerful opening statement from the prosecution in this case. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maria Melendez calling the defendant Robert Kelly a predator who was hiding in plain sight for decades. Now, everything started this morning, first with the judge going over a list of witnesses who are expected to testify. There are 18 or 20 rather Jane Does who are going to be mentioned and talked about inside the courtroom, and 2 John Does. Only 6 of them are included in the indictment, but that was something that was addressed this morning about who can testify, what can be testified to, because of course the defense is challenging a lot of that. But I saw a very clean-cut, somber-looking defendant today as he listened to the prosecution bring these allegations against him and tell this jury. I'm going to quote something from those opening statements today. She said that this case is about a predator, a man who for decades preyed on women, girls, men, and boys for his own sexual gratification, and that he used a network of people who were at his disposal to groom and to target those women, girls, boys, and men. Then going through each of the Jane Does in this indictment, another big moment inside the courtroom is that they did identify the first name of these Jane Does, and Jane Doe number 1 being identified as Aaliyah. Back in 1994, the singer we know, who now is deceased 20 years later, 20 years ago, she died in a plane crash, but she's always been connected to R. Kelly because of a marriage that they had that was later annulled. But in this case, it's being brought up as something that this defendant is accused of bribing someone to get her to have an ID to show that she was not 15 but 18 years old, so that he could cover up what we're hearing about in court was a pregnancy that he believed he needed to make sure didn't come back on him.
Wow, the beautiful, beloved Aaliyah, still someone that is talked about in the music industry in America. And it's really something, Julia. Many watching this case closely were speculating that she was Jane Doe #1, given the set of facts they put forth. But now that is in fact confirmed with what you just told us. Really powerful stuff that the state is sharing, or the federal government, excuse me, is sharing in this case. It's very similar to what many Americans saw in Surviving R. Kelly when that documentary came out. And I understand that you had a chance to speak with some of the parents of one of the victims who was very outspoken in the documentary.
Right, the family of Jocelyn Savage, not someone who was in the documentary itself, but the parents of someone who was a living girlfriend of the defendant, and who they still believe has control over her, that she still has not been in communication with them, because there are associates of R. Kelly allegedly who are always around her. We've had an attorney that represents that family on Court TV several times, Gerald Briggs, who has laid out what their wishes are. They believe that she has been brainwashed because of that interaction with the defendant. So they are here. They were also with attorney Gloria Allred, making sure they're watching what's going on in this trial. I can tell you, it's a packed room inside the overflow rooms that are available for people who want to watch this. There are people who are supporting the defendant, who say that there are lies in the media about him and that these charges are lies. I saw them hugging the defense attorneys as they were trying to get into the courtroom. But overall, you really have two camps here watching this trial to see what happens.
Most definitely. This is really something. And it seems like it's been a long time in coming to get to this big, important day. So glad you were there for us, Julia. Thank you so much for your reporting. We'll let you get back inside the federal courthouse.
That's crazy, crazy, crazy. Also this one real quick, I'll show you. They had one more in the evening session that they did.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It is day one in the U.S. versus the R. Kelly trial in Brooklyn, New York. Opening statements are underway in the federal trial for the R&B singer. Robert Sylvester Kelly is accused of sex trafficking and racketeering. He faces 9 counts involving 6 different women, some of whom were underage at the time of the alleged offenses. Now, Kelly has maintained his innocence on all of the charges. Note that there are no cameras allowed in the courtroom, as this is a federal case prohibiting access, but the media covering the case are able to watch the proceedings via a closed circuit camera at the courthouse. With us now, Court TV legal correspondent Julia Janae, who is there on the ground in Brooklyn, New York, covering the latest directly out of the courtroom. Julia, always good to see you. What is the latest from court?
Judge, actually, the latest is that opening statements have concluded in this case. Both the prosecution and the defense have finished letting this jury know what they intend to prove, or what they say the evidence will not prove in the case of the defense in this case. We've heard a lot, especially from the prosecution, about who is going to be taking the stand. And the first witness today is actually going to be one of the Jane Does, Jerronda Pace. She is going to testify about being 16 years old when the sexual contact between her and the defendant, Robert Sylvester Kelly, happened. We've also heard from this defense team, and they actually arriving in court today, watched them all walking in as a team. They are new to the singer's team, really being hired and put on this case in June. And that's Nicole Blank Becker, Thomas Farinella, Deborah O'Canick, and also Calvin Scholar. 4 people were there sitting at the defense table with him, where he is looking generally comfortable today, keeping his head down during most of the statements that were being made, but also looking rather somber when the discussion came about Jane Doe number 1, who was identified today as R&B singer Aaliyah.
All right, so Jane Doe number 1, Aaliyah, has now been identified because we didn't know whether or not they'd be identified in court. It's Jane Doe. And so what else, Julia, have we heard about the alleged victims in this case?
Well, we have heard, like you just said, we've heard that one name that has been now confirmed, and they've used first names for most of them, but also about Jerronda Pace. She is the one who is going to be taking the stand, and we'll be hearing her testimony in front of this jury. She's been identified by first and last names. But there have been some really detailed things that the prosecution laid out in their opening statements about what it was like for these women when they were kept in rooms inside of R. Kelly's home or inside of his musical studio. One thing stood out to me that the prosecutor said that sometimes they were not allowed to leave the room and resorted to urinating in cups because they couldn't get a hold of the defendant to give the instruction to allow them to do some of the most basic things. So that's what this jury is hearing about. They're hearing about an enterprise. That's what the prosecution has to prove in this case. Today, we also saw inside of the courthouse Gloria Allred, who represents several of the alleged victims in this case, not necessarily the ones that are going to take the stand in the indictment part of this case, but ones that will be added or coming in under uncharged similar acts that the prosecution believes is going to show a pattern. Here's what she had to say early this morning before court started.
All I can say is that I'm very confident that the court will afford a fair trial, both to Mr. Kelly and also to the persons who allegedly are victims.
Right, and we know like almost 15 years ago it didn't work out. You're very confident today is a different day this year.
I'm confident it will be a fair trial in this case in federal.
So who are you representing today?
3 of the alleged victims for whom charges have been filed in federal court in this case, and also 3 other important potential witnesses in this case who may testify.
Judge Ashley, there were not only people who were here on behalf of alleged victims in this case, but also supporters. I saw them at times hugging the defense attorneys as they came in. They've been very vocal about believing that all of these charges against the defendant are trumped up, that they are not true, and they plan to be here as often as they can, even though many of them have not been allowed to get into the overflow room because of the limitations inside.
And I understand that the defense says that it was consensual, that he didn't do anything wrong. Tell us, if you would, before we talk about the opening statements, Julia, how he looks, because we know that he was not given bond, and so he is in jail. How does he look there today during opening statements in terms of his dress and demeanor?
We have a very extremely clean-cut looking defendant who is sitting there. He, of course, is dressed in a suit, gray suit today, white shirt, matching tie. Even though we don't see him on camera at all, we got to record outside his suit being carried into the courtroom. And I don't think that's the one that he is wearing today, but it seems that he has someone to bring it, to hand over to the guard for him to wear in the preceding days, the days that are coming up in this case. So he is looking comfortable in his seat. He's looking a little less nervous than I noticed during jury selection last week.
So let's shift now to the content. What stood out to you about the prosecution and the defense's opening statements that they made just this morning?
Well, the prosecution's opening statement was delivered by Maria Melendez. She's an assistant U.S. attorney, and really it was very clear and organized in the way that she presented this case. And here's how she started it out. She told this jury this case is about a predator, a man who for decades used his fame and a network of people at his disposal to target and groom women, girls, men, and boys for his own sexual gratification. And she backed that up with the evidence that these jurors are going to hear. the testimony about his entourage, the people who helped orchestrate these women and girls, men and boys who were brought to him and were kept, were kidnapped, were not allowed to leave, and were subject to a litany of rules. I think it was very clearly laid out. As far as the defense attorney who presented the opening statements, Nicole Becker Blank, she presented a really seemed like a meandering opening statement. Here's a general point that came at the beginning of that opening statement. She said the fundamental reason that we are here is because the government wants you to believe that our client, an internationally known singer, is the leader of a large enterprise, similar to John Gotti. The evidence will show that this is uncharted territory. I can tell you that the judge wouldn't let them get too much into trying to argue that the racketeering and RICO charges are not appropriate in this case, because that's something that was litigated pre-trial. And at this point, the judge had to instruct her, stop opening statements and let her know that the charges are what they are. You can only talk about what the evidence is expected to show. So we got a lot from the defense in terms of the discrediting that they are doing of the Jane Does, but not a lot of organization as to where this defense is going to take things and what the defense may be in this case.
And it's really hard because you never want a judge to interrupt your opening statement. That's not a good look in terms of what you want the jury to see. So, Julia, I must ask two things. I just note when you say in an opening statement, it's an enterprise similar to John Gotti, and that's what they're trying to prove. Well, you're taking a risk because jurors may or may not know who that person is. But what I also want to ask you in this, it's my understanding that the defense attorneys are newer, as you already said, and started in June. They did ask for a continuance, did they not, in order to be prepared to go forward?
You are correct. They did ask. That's Devereaux Canick. So he's a New York attorney who asked for a motion to delay the trial and put that before the judge. But the two attorneys who are actually doing a lot of the, it seems, work today, and especially Nicole Becker, who is a Michigan attorney, they told the judge early on that they were prepared to go forward, that them coming onto the case would not slow things down. And that was because the former attorneys, Stephen Greenberg and Michael Leonard, they were requesting to be allowed to withdraw from this case. So that was part of the agreement, that if they were able to withdraw, these attorneys would come in and there would be no delay in the trial. So yes, they did ask for that. That was denied. But there are two attorneys on that four-person team who said that they would be ready to go.
And I know, I mean, Julia, this is allegations that have spanned for more than 20 years, 3 decades. So certainly I appreciate you're going to stay with us.
Okay, so I am commenting on that. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Huh. Okay. This is what I think. That we were talking about, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link. I think
But we have another major trial
hold on.
opening up today that we are covering for you. This one.
Let me get you off here. I really think that I'm pretty sure they are really playing for, set it up for a pretty good appeal. You're only supposed to, in your opening statement, you're only supposed to talk about what the evidence will show, not anything that you've already argued in a motion. None of that. And that's just basic. Anybody knows that. So I know damn well they're trying to set this up for a motion. Because, why would you get up there and do that? You should see my mouth back in. I was like, huh? every time Atmos was saying something, she did what I was like, and I wasn't on the screen. I was, trying to do something for my class, and kept going back and forth to get that third one set up. And every time Atmos would say something, I was like, huh? Wait a minute, let me make sure Is he reading this or is he freestyling this? And you're supposed to go in there talking about only what the evidence will show. What the evidence will show. Like, this is crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. I don't know what the hell is going on with this him. But now I'm kind of thinking that they're probably I'm still 50-50 about whether they're tapes or not, and I know this is going long and long, but I'm thinking about this. They did mention having a visual depiction in that discovery, right? So I don't know. I don't even believe it. I just wait to see whether they come up with it or not. But because it looked like to me at this point, some reporter would have been to say there's some child pornography in this case. At some point, somebody would have been said that by now on something, on a tape or picture or something. But I don't know. I reserve the right on that one. But back to this defense. This is weird. Now, the prosecutor could have really gave a big old oh Lord, here we go. A big old um a big old goddamn presentation, right? For the prosecution, right? For shock value to go ahead and just knock the defense back off, on their feet, because you kind of can tell how it was coming, right? And and a an example would be like, just say something like this. Okay, DJ Mace, all right, the two regulars are okay, uniquely made. All right, everybody's popping up.
Yeah,
How old are you?
yeah,
We want
Simon.
hold on, y'all. So I would, if the prosecutor for dramatical effects, they could have said something like, let me get it together. Okay, say, all right, you know, ladies and gentlemen, jury, Your Honor, the defendant has had a lengthy whatever years of whatever the allegations are, right? And I'm just cut to the chase and saying, okay, we do know that the defendant is an international superstar, one who's had a career that has spanned over 3 decades, right? So we will say this. We will say one allegation, all right. Two allegations, okay. Three allegations, and I could reasonably say that most stars of the same magnitude haven't had not one allegation. So that would be an allegation per decade. But what I would have is I would have a picture or something, and I would say a picture on each paper with each accuser. I said, but four, and then each time I would turn it towards the jury. So I'll be turned towards the jury for a dramatical presentation. I'll be like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that's just the female accusers, right? Then, hopefully the defense will go look over at me and say, hey, let's cut that deal. Hopefully that will be done. I'll be done, right? Shit. I got time for this. You know what I'm saying? And then, at that point, maybe he'll say, maybe I want to get a deal, cut a deal, one that would spare my career and my personal life and my kids, my family, and all of that to go through here, all of this stuff. right? And one where if I got out in time, maybe I could save face and at least enjoy some. That's my, I mean, take your ass out. That's my thing. I like to take you out. But anyway, what happened to Robert? Dropped out. But yeah,
Well, what would be enough time if he did cut a deal? What do you consider a good deal?
well, what he's facing 120 years on this one. Mm,
I believe, I believe so.
maybe about 20, like 20, 25, 20, 25,
I think
20,
R. Kelly
25.
about 56. He ain't gonna take that. He gonna want something low, like maybe 5 or 10.
Well, yeah, but that's what I said. That's what I said. Well, maybe they didn't. Either they were offered a deal that would amount to life in prison anyway, because 9 out of 10 times when you negotiate a plea deal, you're gonna take appeals off the table unless your appeal is because you didn't understand the deal you got on an appeal. So yeah. Other than
Yeah,
that, they're gonna take.
I
Oh,
think
he
he
taking
have a better chance going for a damn. I can't think. Mine just went blank.
Dom Kane
Appeal,
said he's facing
appeal.
3 years. Go ahead.
I think he'd be better
What
off
you?
than going for appeal than a deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think appeal would
The
be
other,
in his best interest.
yeah, and the other
But but
thing
um,
was,
but like Angie was
if
just
he
saying,
was
I don't.
offered
Oh, go ahead. I'm
something,
sorry.
if he was offered something, if it amounted to something that's going to end up a life sentence anyway, then your lawyer used to tell you just go on to court, just take your chance in the trial. That way you can live to try to get an appeal. Go ahead,
right.
DJ Mason.
He can appeal the time that he was given to. He can say this was an error, this was an error, that was an error. Y'all should shave 10, 20 years off this sentence. So it goes back to what you just said. They should offer him a deal to where he can still live and possibly have time to get out and do what you just said. Because he's still facing 2 other charges.
Yeah,
Two
but I
other.
don't think there's going to be a possibility of him ever getting out because you have to remember Chicago.
Right. I don't think he can appeal the time. He still got to do at least the minimum.
Time. That's all I was gonna say. I don't know what you
You got to
talking.
do at
He
least
said,
the
I'm like,
minimum.
what? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
You can't.
mean, Bill Cosby didn't do nothing but 2.5 years
But it
and won
wasn't
his
it
appeal.
was the whole charge that got thrown out. It wasn't no time. It was his whole case don't got thrown out. So it's a little bit different with him.
But he had 2 to 10 years.
Right. It don't matter. It don't matter because
Hold on, y'all. Dom, that wasn't. You talking about that 3 to 5 years? No, that was fake. They ain't offered that man no 3 to 5 years. That was fake, fake, fake. That was put
yeah, I
out.
heard about that. Don, I think Don Russell was saying something about that.
Yeah, no,
I think he would have
no,
took that shit. He would have
yeah.
took that
Common
shit.
sense, yeah, don't tell me
Cause
no,
hell, he already
no,
did 2 years.
hell no.
He'll damn near
But
be on
damn the
parole for
time
the
served.
rest.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know why. Child, let me not say
Yeah, I
nothing.
think Don Russell was talking about that. Where it came from.
Right. So
Yeah, where's that ace in the hole that Don Russell claimed he got? Where's that fucking ace in the hole he claimed he got?
you don't have it. That's where it is.
Yeah,
You
if
don't
he
have
had it, he'd be using for him.
it.
Angie, I sent you an email uh, of some quotes that Nicole made. Did you get that?
Today, tell me, was that
Just
around
now.
the same?
Just now. Just now.
Oh, just
Right before I came.
now. Okay. Let me see.
I say from 1 to 10 on the opening statement. I got to give it to R. Kelly defense on today's opening statement. I ain't gonna lie, I got to give it on his team today. But that's just getting started. That it ain't how you start, it's how you finish.
Hell no. Did you see what the hell was going on with doing the opening statement? She even called the man guilty. Inadvertently called him guilty. Uh, I see why it was an issue for Greenberg. Greenberg was like, God damn it, you want to do the opening statement? Shit, I quit.
But you
I
know
think
what? But when I found out that Greenberg was still around on that other case, I was like, yeah, yeah, they
well,
playing
he's
for us
trying to get off of
still.
that. He's trying to get off of that. They said that he's going to hold off and wait until this is over with.
Oh,
But
he trying to get off
yeah,
that.
he had a hearing, um, and he said we off to New York and we would like to do the same thing. And they was like, well, we're just going to wait until this completely over with, and then we'll come back and revisit it.
Let me see what
Um, but yeah, I think Nicole uh, did the.
She's probably just nervous.
I think she did. Her job as far as what she was supposed to do as a
Mhm.
defense attorney. Um, but when you look at what she was talking about, that's why I gave it to
Yeah,
Angie. So when you see what she was talking about, I think that's what the problem is. And plus, I don't know if she may have been nervous. I don't know.
yeah, she
She
probably
probably
nervous.
used to being a prosecutor and called him guilty. That could be the case. But you don't want to make those mistakes. You don't want to make those mistakes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
You can't really
she could have.
unring that bill. You can't really unring that bill.
right.
Yeah, I think she should have touched a bit on R. Kelly's credibility. For an example, things that he has done in the community, not to because all we've been hearing is that he's a monster. He's a monster. I think the defense team should have started out with that. I think she
I mean,
should have touched on that, like Angie was saying, for a big, for a little while,
I
and
think
then
that will
go
still
into
come out.
everything else.
I think that will come out. Uh,
Yeah.
any type of character witnesses.
Well, that's the
It
But I
way
should
it
think,
come
got.
out.
That's the way it got to come. It can't be just you know he did this in 1994. He did no. It can't be like you showing like a propensity. You got to have it's a character trait. It's a trait. It has to be something that's something that's inherently in you. That's the type of so like I said, character witness and stuff. That's really it's tricky. Getting into it. I went into it a little bit, but what's it? You can't probably knowingly gave them herpes. Well, Dom, it's not that and I have it up, but it's not that proving that he knowingly gave them herpes. It's the what they're talking. They're going to use the date in which he knew that he was told that he had herpes, and they're going
Right.
to say after that time he exposed them. It doesn't even have to be that he gave them herpes. He
He
gave them. They're going to say he exposed them to it
right. He
without
had
telling.
knowledge that he had
Yeah.
herpes. He knew
Yes.
he had herpes.
Herpes.
And, according to the motions, they said they got his medical records going back to '03, showing that he had herpes at least in 2003. So it's up to
Right.
him to let them know, like, look, I got these goddamn bumps. Before he do anything,
But
he gotta let them know he got bumps on his dick.
yeah, but the thing about it is the defense can wiggle in there if they try to spin if the prosecutor sit there and let them take all that time, trying to say, well, talk about the strand or I'm just saying talk about the strand and who gave it to who or whatever. If that prosecutor don't nail down that statute and tell them they don't give a damn who gave it to who, is that when he found knew that he had it, he didn't tell the crime came in when he didn't tell the others that he had it, and he exposed them. Who gave it to who is not the crime. If there was, then everybody be in prison because everybody done gave somebody something sometime during their life or whatever. So that's not the crime. The crime is him having an incurable STD, knowing that he had it, and then he he exposed the people to it. Not that they actually gave it to him, exposed it. That's totally different. Oh, somebody done popped up at the bottom. Hold on, y'all. Who? Oh no, that's somebody else. Okay, that's you, Kelly. Let me make this big. All right, let me see what we have on here.
So I think Nicole did the. I think out of everybody, I will say this: out of all his attorneys, I will say Nicole was probably the one that should have done the opening statement. Um,
Yeah.
She did,
That's
you
what I
know,
was saying. I was saying that she was fixed. She was,
she
I was
did
going to
fuck
say
up a little bit. She did fuck up a
yeah.
little bit. Um, but um, but yeah, you got this. Let's touch on this.
Yeah. Okay, it
Let's on
says
quotes.
day one courtroom notes. Oh, okay, good. So they be keeping notes. Good. It says Nicole Becker delivers the opening statements for the defense. It says you'll hear he sold millions upon millions of records. You'll hear that he has so many fans that truly love and adore him, that that his music touched and uplifted their lives. Attorney Becker begins talking about Jane Doe number one. If he were involved in a crime from 1994, would we be here today? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
All right. So she talked about Aaliyah, Jane Doe number one.
Right.
So she pretty. All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, so she pretty much saying that if he did this in '94, why are we pretty much just not hearing about this? And
Oh, see, okay. Okay. All
but
right.
she's not really talking about the. She really not
She's doing
talking
what
about.
she's supposed to do.
Huh?
She's doing what she's supposed to do. She knows damn well this is what we were talking about. That's why we go over this stuff. So we'll know. Remember, I was telling y'all about why this 1994 charge is is correctly charged. Remember, because it's from the 5 years now we went through that from when the
Right.
crime has been
Right, and that's what I was
found.
going to say.
Right.
That's what I was going to say. And then she said that she's passed away, and she's not here to testify. There's no evidence, no proof that she was pregnant. So I'm thinking this is just going to be witnesses statement. It's going to be a testimony in regards to that. Of course, I don't know how anything. Now, it would be interesting if if her mother get up there, but she's not getting charged with being pregnant. She's getting charged with bribery. And I was looking, and I don't see where she kind of touched on the actual charge.
I'm glad you say that, because I'm glad I let you finish talking about that, because I was going to tell you it ain't have nothing to do with all this here, right?
Right.
It's only dealing with the bribery charge. He's not being charged
So
for marrying.
I feel like she want them to look over here, but not over there.
Right. Right.
Because she's not getting charged. That charge is bribery. So don't look at this bribery. You're not gonna see no proof of pregnancy. No, you don't see proof of bribery.
Right, exactly. So that's what she's trying to do. She's doing her job. That's what she's supposed to do. You look everywhere except at these charges. Remember I said about they gonna want it. It's how can you come up against? Remember I kept telling y'all, how can you address the evidence? This kind of evidence. How can you address it? You either address it with a certain kind of defenses, or you're gonna try to confuse them. Have everybody looking everywhere, but to this
exactly.
evidence. So that's what she's trying to do.
Keep going.
Good catch. So it says, when it comes to Aaliyah, God rest her soul. Lord, here comes sympathy. Okay, she passed away. She's not going to be here to testify, ladies and gentlemen. There would be no evidence, no proof that she was pregnant. See, she's laying it out already. See, and that's when I was telling you, if the prosecution does not remember, see, they have already given their opening. If they don't remember to come through and within whatever, and to make sure that this ain't what it's about. It's about that bribery charge. The defense got a little opening. Let's go. Let's see. Okay, Attorney Becker begins talking about Jane Doe number one. If he were involved in a crime from 1994, we would be here today. She didn't say that. Okay, she repeated that. Okay, did she say that again? Or they
probably fucked up.
Probably middle. Okay, Jane Doe number two. Kelly and Jane Doe number two dated for 6 to 8 months. She came to see him, got on a plane. No one forced her. Okay, we need you to use your common sense when you hear testimony for Jane Doe number two. She came to the studio in hopes of getting to know Mr. Kelly. She always had her cell phone with her and a landline. Huh? Okay. She took
Well, so
showers.
go ahead.
She took showers outside of the room she was staying in. She called the front desk reception 80 times asking where is R. Kelly. There is no evidence or proof that the prosecution can show that the doors only locked from the outside, meaning that, okay, so they're going to say that Jane too could have come and go as she pleased, and that
Right.
she was not held captive.
So I
Okay.
believe this is the one where she was held. This the kidnap when she was held to confinement or something. Jado number two. I have to go back and look at the statement, but looking at this, I'm thinking that's what
Gotta
she's
be
talking
right.
about.
Gotta be
Uh,
good catch. That's what I'm
uh,
saying.
um,
Okay. Okay. Jane Doe number four admits she's a super fan. Skipped school, lied to her mom so she could pursue her passion, R. Kelly. The proverbial word groupie can be used to describe Jane Doe number four. Her story is like a snowball that expands with lies getting bigger and bigger, attaching more and more to the interaction between her and Mr. Kelly. See, that's why you have to be careful when you are out here doing all that talking, doing all those interviews and all that shit. Because now she's been painted at, they painting her as a liar. All right, it says prosecution opening statement. AUSA Maria Melendez began a powerful opening statement by calling Kelly a predator who hid in plain sight for years. Okay. Prosecution identifies Jane Doe number one as singer Aaliyah, who met Kelly when she was 12 years old. A clean cut R. Kelly hangs his head at the prosecutor at the prosecutor, detailing accusations about how Kelly planned to marry Aaliyah in 1994 when he believed she was pregnant to keep her from ever testifying against him. Jane Doe number one, Aaliyah. Aaliyah met the defendant in 1992 when she was 12. She was an inspiring singer. She had a gift. Kelly engaged in sexual activity with her for years. He learned she believed she was pregnant. He decided he needed to marry her. At the time, as he understood it, she couldn't be forced to talk if they were married. In the middle of his tour, he flew to Chicago in the middle of the night. Aaliyah was waiting there. Kelly and several of his associates decided they needed to figure out the problem. Oh, of Aaliyah being 15 and needing to be 18 to get a marriage license. They had to bribe someone to get
all right,
her a
all
fake
right. So
ID.
well, if you compare the two, you see how they kind of put everything together.
Mm,
It's the bribery, but they show what led up to the bribery. Why? Uh, as far as the fake ID, when Nicole did it, she just said you'll see no evidence of pregnancy, but she didn't say everything surrounding that. She just touched on
right, no.
the pregnancy, but they saying okay, she was pregnant. Pretty much, they saying when that happened, this happened, like a domino of things happening. When she said you won't see any proof of pregnancy, but she never once said you won't see no proof of marriage certificate and annulment and things of that nature.
And see, and here's the thing, right? Now, so I guess they're not going to, probably not going to go with what I said for the defense because at that point, if she was going for what I was saying, this is, I mean, it may pan out. It could be something close, but different. But I took it from the top because I wanted to say somebody directed my client to um get a marriage certificate to do these crimes. I would have been saying, but somebody told him to enter into some type of marriage to you know to protect him, and he doesn't have all his faculties to in order to know what's wrong and what's right. He's not, what you can consider someone at his age point and in his point in life to be a reasonable thinker back then. This, that, and the third. I'm building up to for him to be considered diminished capacity, which is the defense I was crafting up. But again, maybe they're doing something different. I
And
don't know how they're
Demetrius,
going.
Demetrius pretty much gonna kind of put everything in perspective. I guess tomorrow if he testify.
Yeah,
But they put everything, how it, they progressed it like, you got to had sex, got pregnant, need to get married, fake ID, so they kind of putting everything together.
yeah, but to me that was kind of like a missed opportunity because while you got Demetrius on the stand admitting his part, that is the perfect time to accuse Demetrius, okay,
Well,
of
he
doing
got, from my understanding, he got immunity.
right, which is the perfect time for the defense to accuse Demetrius of doing all of this, okay. But
Well,
hey, but hey,
they have to cross examine him, so it's going to be interesting. See, you know,
yeah, but she
so
could have set this up, but I ain't. And we read. Okay,
but
data number
I mean,
three.
wait, let's stay there. Let's stay there. Accuse him of all of what? All of what?
Okay, just what I was talking about, having others do the thinking for him. That's what I'm laying out. Doing the thinking for him. Doing and Demetrius says it was him. He's the one that what he says is it was his idea. He went and got it, got the license and all of that. You damn
Uh,
right. Throw his
yeah,
ass up on the bus.
he said that he took her to get it or something,
Yeah.
and
And he
he
taking a
paid.
stand.
He taking the stand
Hey,
tomorrow. He got immunity. He got immunity. So apparently he did
yeah, throw
something
his ass
wrong.
up on the bus.
If you got
Right.
immunity, apparently you did something. I think he should go to jail too. Be honest with you, I really do.
I
But yeah,
listen
go
here.
ahead.
That's my I don't give a damn. The judge can go to jail. I got to win. I don't give a shit who go to jail. Everybody, the jury can go to jail. Everybody, hell. But that's and we read. Let's see, Jane Doe number three. And prosecutor opening statements described an occasion in which the alleged victim discovered the door locked, spent 3 days in a room, pleaded to get out, to get food, go to the bathroom, etc., but not being allowed out before finally getting some cold Chinese food, then falling asleep and waking to find her underwear off, wetness between legs, and defendant pulling up pants, grabbing her backside, and ordering her to go. Defendant
So you got
allegedly warned
conflicting
her
stories. Got conflicting
quiet.
stories.
What?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what? On Jane Doe, what's the conflicting story on that one?
So you got Nicole depicting something completely different than what the prosecutor said. Nicole said, if you can go back up real quick.
See, I was ahead of you. See, what Nicole said that was. See, no, she skipped she did 2 and 4, and there's nothing for
How
3.
she skipped? She skipped 2? Oh shit! I'm getting 2 mixed with 3. So maybe 3
Yeah,
was something. So I got, you know what? Now I got to read that. I can't trust that. I got to read the indictment and see like it's matching up. Can't trust
yeah,
old Nikki. Can't trust old Nikki.
yeah, 3, yeah, 3, 3. They said, now see, okay,
Okay,
well,
so
hey,
two was the one that met him at fast food restaurant, right?
let me see what Nikki said. Nikki said,
2 was the one that
um,
met him at in 1999. Was it 1999? 1999 at a fast food restaurant. So when she was 16, so what the hell that got to do with anything?
hold on. Let's see if, luckily I already had the indictment up, so I'm off the screen now, but let me see. One was, okay, one, shame number 2.
Is everybody else still on the panel? Uniquely still here? Or they left?
You see people?
I'm sorry,
Let me
guys. I'm
see.
back.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
back.
Oh yeah,
I thought.
that's good. You
I
stay
had to
out,
step
y'all. You
away.
hear me?
Oh, okay. Go
You-
ahead.
Okay. Number. That's number three. Number three. Number two. That person met him in 1999.
1999 fast
Um,
food restaurant. Is there any charges for held against their will, or what was that charge? Confinement or something? What was the
let me
charge for
see.
Jane Doe number two?
I think sexual
When it in the
exploitation.
closet, I think she was in the closet. Um, yeah, she was in the closet and they brought her some cold food or something.
I'm talking about the actual charge in the indictment. I want to know.
Oh, the extra charge. Oh,
As you're looking at it now.
Yeah. Okay. Number two was. Number five.
So I'm just trying to show how
was that the kidnapping?
Hold on.
Nicole opening statement, it captivated everybody, and that's what she's supposed to do. But
Mm,
she's not really
On the
touching on the
charges.
charges,
That's right.
and that's what the problem is. That's what the problem is.
no, that's her strategy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure her closing statement, whoever do the closing statement, is going to be amazing too. Normally the opening and closing statement is just best. It's the best
No,
thing since sliced bread. So
sexual
I don't know who,
exploitation. And number two.
but it's
Yeah.
not. She's not really touching on the actual charges. That's what the problem is, and that's why her opening statement is
No,
Ran a
you're
little
really.
not
flat.
listening. Listen,
I
listen. No,
get
no,
it.
no,
I
no,
get
no.
it. I get it, Angie. I
Yeah,
get
she's
it.
supposed. Yeah, okay, well, she
I
doing
get
her
it.
job.
I get it.
She's
I
doing
get it.
her job.
I'm just
Yeah,
pointing out. I get it. I think she did a good job. I think Nicole did a good job as far as her opening statement. I'm just pointing out that it didn't include. I'm just showing you the difference
yeah.
between the prosecutors and hers.
Yeah, the
Right.
prosecution was more on the
So
charges.
that's why that's all I'm doing. I get it,
Yeah.
Angie. She only
I
can work
know
with
you
what she
get
got to work with.
it. Yeah, I'm just saying, but the prosecutor they supposed to come back to the charge, like the charges. That's why we want to talk about Nikki is the charges. We don't want to talk about that shit you're talking about. We're gonna talk about these charges. Okay, you can talk about rainbows and everything else. What about these charges? Where's the charges, Nikki?
Where's the
Well,
charge?
where's
Where's
the
the charge?
charges? Where's the charges? Where's the charges, Nikki? You know,
Did
spend
you
all this.
did you find the charge, Angie? Are you looking at it?
No, mm-mm. It's only
I-
that sexual exploitation. So I don't know what's going on with that.
So I don't know what
And
she's talking about. Then that's like has nothing to do with. When I was looking at it, I assumed that it was the one that was held captive. I mean, held against her will or whatever. So I don't know
right.
why she
Okay. Now,
did that.
now Jane. So the prosecutor is right. Jane Doe number three is talking about that is the kidnapping.
Okay, so I thought when Nicole described it, it made it seem like Jane Doe number two was a kidnapper. So that's why I was like, okay, wait a minute. So did the prosecutors touch on Jane Doe number two? What they said about Jane Doe number?
Yeah, the
Wait. So
prosecutor.
they skipped three, right?
No. Wait a minute.
They
The
skipped three,
prosecutor skipped two
and Nicole
and
skipped.
skipped three.
Oh shit! Can't compare that then.
Yeah, Nicole skipped
If
three.
this is written right, yeah. Okay, so all right, so three is a kidnap.
She
Okay, now
might. She
four is
probably. I'm pretty sure she didn't skip it. They probably just don't have it notated. I highly doubt if she skipped any of the Jane Does. They just don't have it notated.
okay. Let's see. Jane Doe number four, Geronda, a 16-year-old. Let's go, Miss. Hold on, hold on, y'all. Just give me 1 second. Ah.
So, Keller, number 4, is
Mhm.
this the
That's Deronda.
prosecution?
Yeah, that's
Right. Yeah. I know it's Deronda, but is this the prosecution?
yeah. What you looking at now? That's-
Okay.
So I think, man, it's gonna be interesting to finally see. I get a better idea tomorrow of their cross examination.
Hmm.
It's gonna be interesting to see they strategy and how they go about it.
Exactly. Yes, because I think Deronda takes the stand today.
She took the stand already. She's gonna finish
Right.
later today.
Right.
Uh,
But isn't she going to be cross-examined by the defense
right,
today?
right. I don't know if the prosecutor's done with her yet.
Okay.
So they may finish up with her. She's gonna get cross-examined, then redirect, and cross-examined again, and she will. We'll see.
Yeah, because
Uh,
she did admit that she lied about the fake ID, but
right,
she summed it up when she said, "I told him I was 16."
right. She said R. Kelly. She actually gave him her real ID, and R. Kelly told her to
Okay, yeah.
tell everybody you 19 and act like you 21.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
then the
let's see what.
settlement is admissible now, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring that up
Mm-hmm. Woo!
to corroborate their
My.
Yes,
story.
because my thing of it is, if we go back to when she was at the court, remember when this was his first trial, and she was standing on the side of him, she did not look over the age of 18.
Who you talking about?
Deronda.
They had a sketch of her, so I don't.
No,
That's
no, 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 no. I'm not speaking of in court. I'm speaking of back
2008.
in the
oh
night. What was it like in '98? Remember when he was coming out of
2008.
the
okay,
court and she
right.
was standing on the
So here's
side
the
of him, and
issue. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. So back in 2008, she did an article about R. Kelly, saying that he was innocent and all that superfan stuff. And she told them in the article that she was 19 in the article. So
okay,
the defense could say, R. Kelly assumed she was
Right.
19 based off that article and based off she was in court and you had to be at least 18 to go into the court. So he assumed that she
Right.
was of age. But the problem is, um, according to her, it's going to be interesting with her because,
Mm-hmm.
um, she's saying that she told him that I was underage. I showed you my ID and you disregarded it. She did take a lie detector test. I'm pretty sure that's not admissible. Uh, attesting to that. So it's going to be interesting with her. I always thought with her it was going to be a challenge because of that.
Yeah, they already painted her as a liar. Let me read
She
this what
the only reason she's a liar. Only reason they can say she's a
because of
liar
the
is
ID.
because no, not even that. Only reason they can say she's a liar is because she herself said she lied.
right,
She
right,
admitted herself that I lied. Yeah, I did. But then I told them the truth.
right.
Hmm.
So and the defense could challenge that. And again, I'll be like, how my client supposed to know? But anyway, so she claimed to be 19. They exchanged numbers. She told him that she was a virgin, and he said he wanted to train her to do oral sex, and that's what happened. She later told him that she was 16 and showed her ID. The defendant allegedly did not ask her to leave and instead told her to tell people she is 19 and continued sexual
So
relationship.
that's the problem right there. Now once he found out that okay, let's say he thought she was 19 based off,
All right,
article and I saw you in court. I know you got to at least be 18 in court. And I know I saw you in court. But once he said she told him, okay, I'm actually 16, he should have stopped right there. Should have stopped right there.
That's right.
And he
I
kept
have to
right.
going.
agree.
That's what the
Hmm.
problem is. Should have
Hmm.
stopped and said, get the fuck up out of here.
Hmm.
And it says the defendant allegedly became controlling, slapped her, choked her, and forced her to give him oral sex. And
And
another thing, you know what?
that's what it's fucked up at too. Like if you got to if you're already committing the crime, you don't do no shit like beat her ass and shit to make her want to turn your ass in.
And you know what else could be? The contents of that NDA. If they
Hmm.
have that, that can also that can also back up her age and some other stuff, depending on
I don't
what's
think
in there.
I don't think backing up her age is the issue. Um, it's more
When she's
so,
a minor,
yeah. But did he know that? Did he know that? I think that's what the
no,
issue gonna
no,
be.
no. But I'm just saying because they are going to say she's a liar. That's what the
Right,
defense is saying.
right. That's what the defense
Whatever
gonna say.
the contents in that NDA can back
Oh, I thought
can
you
can
said
actually
DNA. I'm sorry. I thought you said
no
DNA.
NDA, NDA.
Okay.
No, 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 NDA, NDA.
All right. That's my
So
bad.
yeah, so whatever, yeah, whatever the language is in there, whatever it's about, it could be,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it could tilt it one way or the other. So, okay, it says
Which
Jane Doe number.
which they say,
Huh?
which according to some bloggers, that the settlement is not admissible. According to some bloggers,
Um, normally an NDA is not admissible, but because this
I'm just being
NDA,
sarcastic.
yeah,
I'm just being
okay, oh,
sarcastic.
obviously, I know we don't went over that. Okay, let's see. Jane Doe number 5, Zell met the defendant at age 17 in 2015 when the defendant was 48 years old. Ooh, that's a lot of stuff in her. Boy, she's taking him to the king, honey. It says alleges that an associate of the defendant gave her a wristband to attend it must be concert, giving his phone number. She initially said she was 18. Alleged the defendant told her to come for an audition, at which time he told her to sit on his lap, give him a kiss, invited her to a hotel room. I'll kind of straighten it out. Said he needed to relieve himself sexually, did oral sex on her, video recorded their sexual encounters. Okay. Allegedly,
Where's the tape? Where's the tapes? Oh
yeah,
Lord,
where's the
go
tape?
ahead.
Where's
Go
the
ahead.
tape? It
Go
says,
ahead.
yeah, it says, wait a minute, it says well, I mean, hey, listen, I'm 50-50 on the damn tapes. I don't know where the tapes at.
Let's be
Somebody's
patient,
got
Angie.
the tape, huh?
So be a little patient. Trust the process. Trust the process.
I'm trusting process. I'm just saying, I like to be, hey, okay, it says, alleged the defendant told her parents he would help with her career, saying she would be the next Aaliyah. Allegedly told the defendant she was 17, yet alleged the defendant went to tell her to live with him. Alleged the defendant exposed her to herpes, which is a crime in both New York, California, both of which states they had sex. Alleged the defendant imposed strict rules telling her to call him daddy and confining her to a room. Okay, wait a minute.
So
But
wait, that go to
also,
venue. That go to venue too. So you said New York and California. So that go to
yeah,
venue. But can you go back up? Can you go back up to Nikki?
yeah. Oh, women, and also all of this says alleges. I'm not saying about no tape yet, but go ahead. What about Nikki?
Go back to when she talked about 5. Or did she even
Nikki ain't
talk
talking
about
about
5?
five. She talking about two
Okay,
and
they
four.
just didn't put it in there. She talked about 5. They just didn't put it in there. All right.
How you know she talked about five?
I saw it on other articles. It's
Oh,
like you got
okay.
to look everywhere to put all this stuff
I
together.
know.
You got to look at all
You got
type of stuff.
right. That's why I be having like all them different articles, trying to see did one have something the other didn't have, and all that, trying to put it together. Cause it's all over the place. You know what I'm saying? They can only write as far as best as they can. Can. Let's see. Jane Doe number
Okay,
6.
I have a question. Okay, on Jane Doe number 5, she was what 17, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when all of these allegations, what state?
Florida.
Florida.
What is the consenting? Is it 17 or 18
So
in Florida?
it's 17. I think it's 18 in Florida. But here's the problem: when you travel across state line, it's 18. period, regardless of what state you in.
But they were in Florida. How's that traveling across state lines?
He also flew her out too. He also flew her out. If you look,
Oh,
he reside in Florida. She reside in
Yeah.
Florida. So, you know, if stuff happened in other state, that should get there. That should get there.
mm.
So you travel across state lines, it's 18, period, regardless, because that's federal. It don't go by state then.
Yeah,
Once you cross,
that's right.
that's Homeland
That's right.
Security. So once you cross state lines, it's 18. Even if the consent state is 12 and 14, like some of them crazy states, once you cross state lines, it's 18, period, regardless of what the state says.
Right. Actually, with the RICO, they're going to use the state law to establish the crime of being under age of 17. But like the rest of it, then when she goes across the line, it's a federal crime anyway. Yeah, so it's a federal crime anyway. So it says allegedly, and a lot of times when y'all reading indictments and it cites the state law, they're saying that in the indictment, they're pretty much saying that in that state, this is the law that they violated. So based on that state, that's what the crime came in at. So anytime you read an indictment,
I just looked up Florida. It said 18 for Florida.
Is that it? I mean, but it says that in the indictment, right? What the crime was. Whenever y'all see something cited and it says in a federal indictment and it cites the state, that's what they're saying the crime is. The crime in that state in the federal indictment. That's what they're citing. Remember, y'all know what I'm talking about when y'all see the state shit, right? Y'all remember reading that, right?
State shit,
right? Right, right. Y'all remember reading that? I'll make sure y'all remember reading that, right? It's always says something normally. If it's it's a lot of it's in the Chicago, Illinois case. When they start saying the state this, the state that, and this and the third, they're just backing up what the crime is. All right. It says, okay, January number 6, Faith was 19 years old when she met the defendant in 2017, at which time he was 50. All right, allegedly met the defendant at a concert and began flying her around the country. On one occasion, allegedly brought her into a small room with a gun, asking her questions, engaged in unprotected sex, exposing her to herpes. Oh. Prosecution lays out charges explaining how they link to each alleged victim, claiming they have text messages, phone records, travel records, medical records, physical evidence, and more to back up their case. So that's what they needed to say. Crazy, right?
Look at the chat right
All
quick.
right. Yeah, let me look at the chat. All right, let me. Oh, you can scroll up on your side. My scrolling ain't interrupting your scrolling, is it? Okay. Well, hell, I don't know. Hell, I'm not all into the technology and shit. Well, we got the herpes. Well, what we found? We found the herpes.
Did she even talk about the herpes? Because I was looking at some articles and I don't recall. Like I said, you got to look at so many articles and just piece all this stuff together. And I don't recall looking at anything about Nicole talking about the herpes.
Without a note. Again, that's fishy. Okay, Don. All right, Don. You said that question with Don got right there. It says, but why would her parents send her to R. Kelly and his team with a note? Again, that's fishy. Okay, well, Dom, that's a good question. But then you have to ask yourself, why would she need a note?
Do an adult need a note? Do an adult? That's that question. I really want to hear that answer from you, Dom. Like, if you of age, do you need a note from your parents?
Get his ass, Dom Kane. Get his ass.
I want to know the answer. I legit want to know his answer. Like, if you are an adult, Do you need a permission slip or some type of permission letter from your parents? Because as soon as you say permission slips, that's indication that it's a minor involved from the parents. So as soon as you say parents, that's the parents out the picture. Parents is always going to go right to a minor. And the judge talked about the parents.
Okay, let me see. 653. All right, I want to show y'all real quick. Wow.
My question to you, Dom K, is if you are an adult of age, do you need a permission slip to do anything from your parents? Or do that just apply to if you're underage?
All right, you see what I got highlighted that? Okay, that's that in the New York indictment, right, for the RICO. I'm just showing an example of what I was talking about, where it says, now this is being handled, this is being prosecuted out of New York. But right there, you said in violation of Illinois Criminal Code section blase squaze. That's what I'm talking about. That's when they're talking about the crime, the violation right there. When you'll start seeing stuff like that, they're going to be citing state law to back up their federal charges. All right, I just wanted to show y'all that real quick.
No, I'm not saying that, Dom K. I know you're not disputing the age. I'm just saying if you are an adult, do you need a permission slip? It's yes, no. But when you say permission slip, it automatically say that she was underage, and that's what the charge is, that she is, had sex with an underage minor. For an underage minor cross state line to have sex. So when you say permission slip, that kind of adds to it that she was, actually underage, and validate the charge.
I bet you the defense, now, unless they on crack, I bet you the defense won't ask about no damn permission slip. I bet you that. I bet you that. Unless they smoking crack, they better not ask about no permission slip.
They're not
Where's
going to
the
even use
crack?
the term
Where's the
permission.
crack?
Where's the crack? Where's the crack? I'm like, what?
Where's crack?
Hey, but you know what? I know but like I told Larry, I said they long time ago, I said they come in the courtroom with 3 boxes, it's a wrap. They
had a file cabinet, 5 or 6 boxes.
Goddamn
Man, they had
exhibit board.
they had
A file
they had a
cabinet.
whole motherfucking chalk. They came there with a whole goddamn chalkboard.
The Boxy board to the
Buckets.
25th hour.
Enterprise board. And the enterprise board.
Okay, enterprise, where you at? Man, I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Then the
I need
defense,
one box
the,
more. Boy, he
the
almost
defense
made
just
it.
the defense just came in with a goddamn printer. That's all they had.
And 2 laptops.
2 laptops and a motherfucking printer.
With no paper. They don't have no paper. Just a damn printer. They probably don't even have any ink.
Oh man.
Man, that's messed up. And I said the defense team on that New York that is chock full of women. And I'm telling you,
They got, that's another thing. So they got the prosecutors is all women. So
and the people back there answering the phones and getting the coffee and shit, they women too. And everybody women in the
whole stuff, all women. So that's another thing. Like, man, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, they finna get your ass.
So they got they doing it for a whole nother reason.
Yeah, they meticulous with it.
Doing it for me too. They doing it for me too.
They going, but you know that they real thorough. The research is gonna be like, I mean, they just not gonna be up there with that bullshit. And I just that's crazy. And I'm like, I mean, but don't get me wrong now. Nicole is doing, she doing her
So
job and stuff.
I saw Nicole as a prosecutor. You should bring that video up. It's on her YouTube as a prosecutor, and she was talking. I don't know. I think she was doing a closing statement at that time. And I'm listening to her. I'm like, God damn, she a fucking beast. She's a fucking
Yeah.
beast.
Nicole don't strike me.
So
Somebody put down, I don't own the rights to this. She ain't watching this shit.
so it's like, I'm not saying that, she did what she had to do to really captivate the jury with her opening statement. But what I'm saying is she didn't really touch on the actual charges. She don't have to. I get that. Burden proof is on the prosecutors, but she's pretty much telling you, goddamn it, don't look at this, look at that.
Right. Because as a defense, you need to rebuttal the prosecution. So if the prosecution is focused on the charges,
she's not even rebuttaling.
No,
but
what I'm saying, but as the defense, that's what you should do, is sort of rebuttal what the prosecution is saying. That's part of the opening statements. Because the prosecution, that's what they touched on was the charges.
Another thing is, I heard that Auntie Anne had to do a sidebar with her throughout her opening statement.
Yeah, she was standing up with her hands on her hips, and
she was fucking up.
She was trying to knuckle buck.
You don't want to get on Auntie Anne's nerves. That's the last thing you want to do. So I don't think I don't know.
Yeah, I think they probably had some issues in the past.
They've been had issues ever since fucking Curcio hearing. It's been issues.
Is this? You say it's on her page. Let me see if this
on her YouTube page.
Okay. Well, let me see what this is real quick. This might not be anything, but let me see what this is. I found something.
She only got like 5 videos on it.
Where is Cannon? Is he still?
He was trying to put the paper in the printer.
But I didn't even see him.
So he was trying to plug up the printer. He was on printer duty.
So they did have paper. Okay. I'm not sure what the printer, but what's that about?
I don't understand the printer at all. It's like you couldn't print that shit out.
And it was
before you came in there. To me, the
probably
printer
was a laser jet. It probably wasn't a damn Canon. The Canon, they spit out the pages, 80 pages in 5 seconds.
To me, the printer indicate that they not ready. They not ready.
Yeah.
They didn't have time to print the shit out. Well, they need a printer.
That's probably one they print. Let me fit this.
Yeah, they should have had notepads. To hell with them printers.
I'm playing something. Hold on.
Oh.
Turn it up, Angie.
He needs to be held responsible. Judge, the probation report indicated deceptive
So.
I can barely hear it.
Before you was not a perpetrator upon 3 victims who testified in trial. He's a perpetrator among so many children. It's disgusting and deplorable. He needs to be held responsible. Judge, the probation report indicates that deceptive sentencing does not apply. It absolutely does apply. He was found guilty of several life offenses. Under those circumstances, the consecutive sentencing certainly applies. The people are asking that he receive a mandatory minimum 25 years on every life offense that he was charged with, which is found guilty of, which are 4 separate life offenses. The people are also then asking for consecutive sentencing.
I'm pretty sure she had that same demeanor today. The ironic part of it is she was a prosecutor talking about fucking him molesting somebody, talking about sex crimes. That's the crazy part.
She was getting it. Yeah.
So
I'm getting it.
So I'm pretty sure, that's the same demeanor she had today. The thing is, the problem is, what she was actually talking about was not related to the actual charges.
Right. But look at Dom said they wouldn't have brought the damn front of y'all would say they wasn't prepared. No, they probably wanted one close to them so they could just get the paperwork. Get the
Right. I'm pretty sure
paperwork
the
and get all
court
it
was
done.
full of print.
But they probably want the one just close to them. Yeah, no. They shit, that people nervous hell. What you want the
Well,
people to do?
They gonna fuck around.
I mean, the thing with the documentation, this is why you have apprenticeship. That is their job to do that. Get all of the notes, everything on a notepad, and you be prepared. I don't think they were prepared.
Well,
They're not ready.
I think they were prepared, but
They're
no,
just
I
not
mean, listen,
fully ready.
no, it is. They've been dealing
They need
with
more
this
time.
case for to do what? There ain't nothing to do. It's go
They,
time.
I
I
I don't
mean,
even think they, I don't even think they really went through everything in the 3500 material fully.
No, they haven't, and I don't think they've read all the previous motions either.
Because, and the
so what
reason
you
I say that,
doing? Just sitting in the
the reason I
office?
say that is because in the transcript before this, in the pretrial conference, uh, the judge asked him about something, and he said, "Hold on, I need to review it." And she was like, "Take your time." So he was fucking stumbling through the 3500 material during the pretrial conference.
Yeah, but yeah, you're under the impression that everybody knows everything. Blah 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 blah. No, that's not how it works. It don't work like that. If somebody
I'm talking
asks
about
you
he was
something,
looking for something in the 3500 material. That's what I'm saying.
right. I
And
understand what you're saying, but it could be something in the in any portion of the evidence, and nobody's gonna have it just memorized like that and whatever. And somebody asks you a question that you don't have in your line of shit to talk about, you got to go look for it. You got to
so
figure even sometimes it's just
here's what
good.
you got to understand, B Rock. Why am I echoing? I hear me echoing?
Uh-uh.
Maybe just me. Here's what you got to understand, B Rock. Nicole was a lawyer for years, 20 plus years. So, she's gonna knock out the opening statement and I don't think she's gonna do the closing statement. Maybe Farinella may do that, but even if she was to do it, she's gonna knock those out the park. But that's not gonna win you the case. She's gonna have to knock holes in their fucking evidence. That's what's gonna win them the case. Everything that they trying to prove, she's gonna have to fucking invalidate that shit, put holes in it. That's what's gonna win her the case. Not her opening statement, not her closing statement.
The strategy is going to have, I mean, you're going to have to deal with that evidence but the best you
The
can.
evidence is
But
the problem.
that's
Okay,
the problem.
that's the problem. Her
That's the
opening
problem.
statement, her opening statement was a problem too. It was just her delivery, how she, the emotion she had with it was on point. I would say that. But the substance of it wasn't, especially when she called her own client guilty, inadvertently called him guilty.
Yeah, that was mess. That was bad, but
That's
she
crazy.
recovered. Yeah, she recovered.
And
She
then
recovered
calling,
on
calling what's calling minors like they don't. He's in a case full of minors, calling them girls. Auntie Anne's like, no, women. Like Auntie Anne trying to help her out. Women,
Yeah.
not girls, not little girls. Women. You don't want to call
Shout out to
case.
her, that judge, for catching stuff like that, because you don't want none of that crazy shit coming back on you on no appeal. You know what I'm saying? Where you could be like, it could be prejudicial that you keep calling somebody minors in the case with minors, that's definitely prejudicial. So shout out for the judge for catching that shit. She don't want
Right,
nothing. No,
right.
she is tired of this case.
This is your defendant. I mean, this is your client that you defending, and he got a case full of fucking minors, and you sitting up here calling them girls. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, both sides. Yeah, but I mean, right. I mean, and it could be just the way she speaks. You know what
She
I'm
used to be
saying?
a
Like,
prosecutor. That's what it is. She used to be a prosecutor, and she used to calling them girls and calling saying they guilty. She's not used to saying not guilty because she's been a prosecutor. So
yeah.
it's hard to it's that muscle memory.
Didn't
That
somebody
muscle
say she
memory.
was a prosecutor for 20 years?
Yeah, for
Yeah, she
over
was.
20 years. Over 20.
Hmm.
What you just showed, what you just played was her on the prosecutor side.
She's
Yeah,
a good lawyer. I just think she's over her head. She's gonna need a bit more support. I'm not saying she don't have that support, but I think she needs at least two or three more individuals just like her. Cause she's a pit bull. I think she's a good lawyer.
I don't think she's over her head because if she was a prosecutor, think about it. She had to become a lawyer before she was a prosecutor. And if she was a prosecutor for 20 years, she back to being just a regular lawyer. So I don't think she's over her head. I
No, what
think
I
that
mean, I'm sorry, maybe I used the wrong
As a
term. What I
defense
mean by
attorney, she's
overhead,
over here.
I'm speaking of all of, with the media coverage, because this is a high profile case. I don't think she was in any high profile cases. Have she? I
Okay.
don't think she has as a prosecutor.
wait,
Well,
here's the thing you got to look at. The case is condensed down to those papers that we see, right? That we see going back and forth, whatever. That's what the case is condensed down. Now, arguably, someone could really knock that out. To be honest, uh, probably 6 months to a year. Really, to be honest, the case is condensed down to that little bit. You add, and that's why there was very little allowances with regards to time given when they hit them across the head with those two books of uncharged with those two motion of limits, right? So so that's what I'm saying. So it's not like you know, I mean, like when Steve said the case was going to be, you know, real heavy with those six girls, whatever, those six in-law girls, six accusers. He was at that time. He was probably looking at all that discovery and all that shit they got going, whatever. And he's looking like, okay, I'm first chair, so here's my, this falls on me. When you incorporate your team that's going in with you, and then you got the team at the office, it's not that much, you know. But now, when you're dealing with, and here's what makes it crazy: when you're dealing with two other cases of damn near the same magnitude almost, then that's when it gets kind of sticky. But for this one case, I mean, 6 months to a year, they could have not. I mean,
well,
could have knocked
I'm
it
just
out.
looking at. I will have a better idea when I see the cross examination. But as of now, I'm just looking at things that they put in motions to kind of get a better idea of their approach and the things that they have been putting in motion to get dismissed and thrown out has been an epic fail.
Yeah, they have now. But like I said, when you just stepping up on the federal, you got to know those codes and those statutes and all of that. You got to know that stuff. That's where it gets a little dicey because like a lot of that stuff. Because if you're okay, just say the challenge to the venue, right? When you're usually dealing with the state, when you're talking about the venue or whatever, it's almost kind of cut and dry. When you're dealing with the feds, and then you're dealing with the what the feds, like I said, what the feds enjoy to be able to charge stuff or whatever, how they do it, that
Hmm.
enumerated powers, what I call it, enumerated powers, um, all of that and it's different. It's a whole situation. I
I
explained
thought,
that
I thought,
cover
I
two
thought
hours back.
from my research, I thought it was pretty much cut and dry. And from what I've been seeing, as far as the venue, they were saying that either and it's for federal, either they reside there or it happened there. At least one of the acts or charges either have to occur there or they reside there, and that's how you pick the venue.
A little bit more than that because it's who filed first. Is it regulated by non-economic interstate activity? There's a lot of stuff goes into all of that. But that's it. If it's a RICO, it make that's different. All of that plays a factor in determining the jurisdiction. So yeah.
Because from my understanding, like when they before he got indicted, and this is rumored, I don't know how true this is. Before he got indicted in New York, they was trying to figure out was it going to be in Atlanta or New York. There's debating between the two.
Right. But like I said, it's a lot play into it when it comes to Fed and then what type of charge. If it's a RICO charge, then whatever, that's going to be different than when it comes to RICO. They like I said, they enjoy some other that enumerated powers as well as when it comes to when you look at the charges that's going on in Illinois, you see most of those charges that's not a RICO case, and most of that stuff, if not all, right? I'm pretty sure all of it happened in Chicago, right?
Shit, you talking Chinese to me right now? I didn't understand a goddamn thing you just said.
All the stuff that happened, all the stuff.
Oh,
No, it's very
I'm
cut
talking.
and dry what I just said. You don't understand it. I say
You're
it.
talking about all that fucking
Stuff,
legalese and shit. I
all
don't
the
know.
stuff. Okay, no. What I'm saying is, then all the charges, all the charges that happen in Illinois happen in Illinois, right? That's what is happening in Illinois,
For
right? Everything, right?
For Cook County, I think for Cook County, I don't think for his federal case. I think it was
The
in.
federal case,
I don't know. I have to double check. I have to double check. I don't know.
but in New York, you see stuff that happen
Multiple.
different places. Yeah, multiple places. So that's the
I,
difference. What
I
I'm
could have
saying.
sworn when I was reading
Yeah,
it, they were saying like the District of California, no, whatever District California, Illinois.
right.
I have to double check, but I know for certain Cook County everything was in Illinois, but I'm not for certain with the federal. I have to double check.
Yeah, it has something to do with the enumerated powers that's afforded. Um, that RICO affords that luxury to do what it does. So it could pick up New York and Chicago. I mean,
And that's
whatever,
just
however
messed
it
up. Like when he done with this, he got to turn around and go to Illinois. It's just all bad. It's just fucked up that he in this situation. He should be.
and
I just feel that, like I said before, that I think he should have just fucking went to jail in '08. He would have been out by now and got his shit together and out singing gospel or some shit. Now he been fucking dying in jail. I mean, even though I don't condone what the fuck he did, I don't think anybody should die in jail. And that's what's gonna end up happening to him. It's gonna end up they got his ass. They was like, motherfucker, you a slippery ass motherfucker. We can make sure we're gonna get your ass now. Little slippery bastard.
and I look for them to run that federal case in Chicago before they run the one in the state. There's a reason why they'll do that. But we ain't gonna talk about that now because I'm going to bed. There will be a reason, a procedural reason why they would do that to get around some shit. Because it will it could be a case being made if they try that Chicago state case before they should try that Chicago federal case. Could be somebody could be, hey, what y'all doing? Hey, this ain't right. Well, I ain't gonna get into that. Because I'm going to, okay, so okay, I just agreed. So if you could sentence him, how much time would you give him? Since you say he did this stuff. Curious, bro.
So I think we would know if I think we will know tomorrow if the tapes that they talking about, the visual. Well, I ain't gonna say tapes, the visual depictions that they talking about. I think we will know tomorrow for certain if it's based off the actual evidence or do they is it based off their testimony? Because one of the visual depictions was Jane Doe number 4, and she's on the stand. She's gonna be on the stand today, later on this morning. I get. So I think we'll know then.
Mocha said, Dom, yes, Bury. Shit Anton Poole was unreal. All of the communication he had with people and all of that BS came out of his mouth unreal. Yeah, that mouth was reckless.
Dom K, I don't think he should die in jail. I think, even though I think he did this, I don't think he should die in jail. If I was to give him some time, I would say about 30 years. About 20 to 30 years.
That's dying in jail.
Oh, damn, that is dying. That is dying in jail. Shit, damn, my bad. Never mind.
That is dying in jail.
Never mind. You're right. Okay, life then. I'm just talking about as far as they talking about 155 years or some shit. But yeah, I guess that is dying in jail. I didn't think about it that way.
Don't say he's 54, nigga.
Right. Right. I didn't think about it. I was just looking at it in terms of the 195 years. I was looking at it like that. I didn't think about this motherfucker's damn near 60, so shit, he'd be 90 years old. Yeah, I guess it is life, man. Never mind. Nigga, never mind. Let's see.
Never mind, man. Never mind.
But yeah, I think he should get about 30 years. So if he's still alive at 90, he can come out and sing a song or two.
Maybe he'll get that what is it?
Maybe
American Gangster. What did he get? I ain't know. Didn't he get like a whole bunch of time and ended up coming out?
Start tricking them motherfuckers. Yeah, he started tricking them motherfuckers. Got his ass out there. So
even when he told on all those people, I mean, he told on everybody.
So maybe if R. Kelly started telling on Jay-Z and all these people in the industry, shit, maybe he'll get out.
Oh, I ain't think about that. He'll get a downward departure for real. He surely will. He get a downward departure for real. R. Kelly tell on everybody. If some shit goes wrong, tell on everybody.
I would have told on so many people.
Tell on Demetrius.
You see, Demetrius got immunity. He said, "I'm telling."
I don't give a damn. Talk about something else.
Demetrius
did something else. Yeah.
Demetrius in New York walking around doing interviews, singing and shit. He like, I got immunity. Goddamn it, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he got immunity for that. But I know the nigga did something else. Tell on his ass. Line him up. Find something. Hell, baby, whatever. Shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I wasn't thinking that of his age. I was just thinking like he shouldn't get 195 years. But yeah, that is life. So yeah, I'll take that back. Yeah, that's fucked up. Because it's like let's say he win. Let's say half his charges get dropped, right? That's still life. That's fucked up. It's over with.
Oh, Lord.
Then he got Illinois. It's over. It's over. They said like
Illinois. Anybody know how many years he's facing in Illinois?
I don't even know. I don't know. It's enough where he ain't gonna ever see daylight again. It's like once you get to a certain many years, you just stop counting. But I know he got a mandatory minimum in Illinois for like one of the charges got a mandatory minimum of like 20 years for just one charge.
Wait a minute. Down with the RICO, it's 5 years for every count.
No, he's not facing a
No,
minimum of 10 years.
Hold on. I take that back. It's 30 months at the minimum for every. I don't know why I don't know this. 30 months. I know this by heart. Okay, it's 30 months at the minimum for each charge, right?
I looked it up. I looked it up for, I think, for 4 counts. It was a minimum of fucking like, I think just 10 years for 4 of his counts. Just the racketeering, I believe. It was like the minimum was just 10 years for that. That wasn't even including the Mann Act. Or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe it was the Mann Act I was looking at.
I'll have it.
But I know for sure all his charges together is not a minimum of 10 years for all his counts.
No.
Because I added it up before.
Yeah.
I got it in my group. I'm gonna have to find it. We added that shit up before.
Houseway. Well, I'm gonna have to get on up out of here, y'all. DJ Amazing is sleeping as usual.
Click the link and went to sleep.
What you doing, DJ Amazing? What you doing? You come up here and do absolutely nothing but sit your ass there and fall asleep. What you want, DJ Amazing? What you want? Your ass is asleep. You're going to shut it down. You're going to skip me on live.
Take him off mute, see if he's snoring.
Let me see what he's doing. No, he got his own stuff on mute. I can't unmute him.
Oh, you can't unmute him? Okay.
Yeah, he got his own stuff on mute, honey. He is not out. He out.
Yeah, so tomorrow is going to be more pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
More pieces.
Here we go, honey. I mean, they are going fast. They already got the child on the stand testifying.
I heard Bubba was taking the stand.
Honey, I don't even know Bubba's name. Is Bubba one of the what is
Chris?
Bubba?
I forgot his real name.
Is he a John Doe? Is he just a regular witness?
No, I don't think he's a John Doe because he's too old. It didn't match the description. But he was the one that told Geronda to come to R. Kelly. So, to my understanding, the prosecutors is calling him to the stand. That's not good.
Oh wow! Oh, Miss Finn, I didn't schedule him. I don't normally schedule a live. I try to get in here after everybody is doing their thing. After everybody,
And he go to Ace and
Atlas and Diva goes on or whatever.
He go to Ace in the Hole, Angie. He got the Ace in the Hole for Greenberg. Greenberg will come up there and take the stand for the prosecutors.
No, that's not Ace in the Hole I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hole. The defense got an Ace in the Hole, okay? I'm telling you, y'all. Now, when I see it, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going, whoop, there it is.
You don't know what it is.
Who?
What is it? I'm interested. What is it?
I am not going to tell you what it is.
Why? What's the secret? What's the big secret?
Well, I can't tell you because one, it would be very inappropriate. Seriously, I would have told you by now. It'd be very inappropriate.
Tell me private chat.
No, I told you I'm not doing that.
What you mean inappropriate?
I can't tell you that. That'd be very unprofessional for me to tell you that. Very.
It's just us, Angie. We ain't gonna tell nobody.
Shit. They the whole Greenbow coming with the weapon. Nikki passes out and flash a Pikachu at the jerk.
Look,
No,
Nikki,
those are good strategists, but
Nikki gonna
trust
have
me,
to.
they know. Listen, they have been around in the criminal goddamn sewage long enough. They know what they have when they deploy the shit. They come
Look,
in with
Nikki
the
gonna
shit.
have to.
Them coming in smiling.
This
I'm like,
this how
oh,
R.
they
Kelly.
smiling.
This how R. Kelly get a win. Nikki gonna have to fucking act like she tripped and hit her head on that goddamn printer, and,
Right.
and, and, and act like she don't know shit when she got up. They go, all right, mistrial.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, baby, get somebody else. Who's been working with her? Okay,
Right,
they got
agree.
3 or 4 more people.
Great burger them.
They listen, trust me, it has gotten off a few people. Now I ain't saying it'll work, but it increases their chances. And I thought, like if anybody looked at that assignment, I kind of gave you a hint.
I think I was out of town. We did that assignment.
I put the paper up there. I kind of gave you a hint. Shit. I bet y'all read next time. God damn it. Well, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, let me go on up out of here. Give it up and
All right, y'all.
No. That's above my pay grade. Trust me. Them people know what to do. They know what to do. If R. Kelly over there sleeping at the table and shit like that,
Yeah, this motherfucker sleep. That's another thing.
if you
That's
over
another
there
thing.
sleep, they got
This
the ace in
motherfucker
the
sleep.
hole.
This.
They got the ace
You
in
right.
the hole.
You right.
R.
You
Kelly
right.
is not that. Hey,
You right.
remember Zimmerman was
That's
okay.
all.
Remember Zimmerman
That's
was
all
sleeping at
playing.
the table and shit, and his ass free to terrorize people and shit. Okay, if R. Kelly
Yeah,
over
it's
there
all
sleeping
playing.
and shit,
They're like,
yeah,
look, you gonna
they
go
got
to
the ace
sleep
in the hole.
in the middle of my opening statement. You just gonna fucking start snoring,
Yeah, you knocked
and
out.
you
You
don't
ain't even
wake your
worried
ass up. Don't wake up until we start
about it.
talking about these John Does.
Okay, you got girls and guys gonna take the stand on your ass and you
I'll
sleep.
be asleep
You
too.
ain't
Shit.
worried about it. Right. You got the ace in the hole. You know something that nobody else knows. Sleep on, R. Kelly. Sleep on. Yeah, whatever. Wake me up when y'all finish. Shit.
Right.
Ace in the hole, baby. Right.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
second time he did that, so you may be on to something. They said he was
Right.
snoring in
R.
the
Kelly ain't
in the
worried about
pre-trial
it. He ain't
conference. He was
worried.
snoring.
Right. He knocked out. He
And,
knocked out. He is unbothered. Shit, he's unbothered. Hell, he's knocked out for a
yeah, you right.
reason. Something ain't right.
Yeah, you right. You right. You right.
Okay.
But that would just
That's
get him sentenced to the crazy house somewhere, and he won't be able to play basketball or nothing.
man. Look here. I'm trying to tell you. I know. Listen. Well, damn. I almost gave it up. Never mind. I know. Listen. When I hear about it, I know. So, oh shit. Here we go. Here we go. Heads up, everybody.
Hey,
We on watch. We on
tomorrow,
watch. We on watch. Huh?
tomorrow,
No,
tomorrow, all
no,
their
it
ass is
won't
gonna be
be.
asleep tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you
Half the
something.
table
I
gonna be
give
asleep.
y'all this hint. I give y'all this hint. It will. Okay, let's see. I put this up. Well, that would be obvious. I was gonna say it will occur in the defense portion of the case. Well, shit, that's obvious. So it won't
Well,
be nothing
we
soon.
already seen that. already seen that.
Okay, so it won't be nothing soon. Okay, but when the defense had their turn, okay, I'm like, y'all stop paying attention. Paying attention. Let's see what's going on.
He gonna be at
What
the
the
table
hell?
playing with his boogers and shit.
He was like, he ain't got nothing to worry about.
He was playing his boogers, brushing his teeth and shit. They said,
Okay, I was
"Oh,
late to court. He gonna be all late to court. Nah, nah, man, I'm serious. I wanna know. I wanna know, hell, what the hell? How y'all gonna do this? Somebody
Well, we
tell
gonna
me,
see tomorrow
Lord.
because we're gonna see we're gonna see tomorrow. Like they cross examine tomorrow, so we're gonna see, and
Oh
then they're
yeah,
gonna
okay.
redirect. And then they gonna see. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking. They're gonna cross examine tomorrow. Ain't gonna really be hitting no shit. I mean, they may be able to catch up on her age. That's it. But that redirect gonna cancel all that shit out.
Yeah, that's gonna be
It's gonna
pretty
cancel
crazy.
all that. It's gonna cancel out their whole cross examination.
Right.
Is it redirect or rebuttal? Was that the same thing?
Redirect. It's redirect. That'll depend on. Yeah, it's just redirect.
But they're gonna redirect, and it's gonna cancel out their whole cross examination. Only thing they can touch on tomorrow, pretty much, is she lied about her age and said she was 19. That's it.
Right. Right. Now let me get up the hell up out of here. Hell, I have shit to
Yeah, let me
do.
go get to sleep like fucking R. Kelly did, so I can make
Oh
sure I'm up in
Lord.
time. I'll be battling
Lord,
tomorrow. Catch me and fuck. I can't. Sometimes I can't think. What the hell I'm battling tomorrow? Shit.
oh, that's
D.
right. Tomorrow is Thursday.
Yeah, me and D. We finna go at it. I'm finna go on, knock out real quick because I need to get back to this R. Kelly shit. So it's gonna be real quick.
Okay. Thank you. No, thank you, Little Red. Thank y'all, Club Fed. I mean Club Blue. No, I said Club Fed. Jesus. I said Club Fed. I mean
Ain't
Club
ain't
Blue.
that some
For the blue people.
Club Fed?
Uh,
Ain't that some goddamn malaria shit?
yeah, but he was on that interview. Shit,
Oh,
I
okay, yeah.
am fucking up. Oh Lord, let me get out of here, y'all. But anyway,
All right.
hell,
All
all
right.
right, y'all. The
See y'all
host,
tomorrow,
that's yes,
9:30
everybody else.
Eastern
What time
Standard
is going?
Time.
What time is
9:30 Eastern Standard Time. You probably won't get no information till about noon. Um, and then I mean you get that's when you get the bulk of the information is about noon when they take their lunch. And then you get another bulk when they end about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Mm. Thank you, whoever that was. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Oh, that
All
was so
right,
nice.
y'all.
I don't have to
I'll
do
see
all
y'all.
that.
All right, Angie.
All right, Club Blue, get out of here. All right, Killer and DJ Amazing, whatever. You wake up, we will be gone. Blue and yes. All right, Blue people, get up out of here. All right, folks. Good night, y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Phoenix Rising. Thank you, y'all. Good night. Oh, good night. Thank you, Purple Purple. And everybody else. Peace out.